I watched the twin-jawed beast's claws clamp tightly onto the base of the lighthouse as the Devourers swarmed upward along its arms in a frenzied rush. The city's defense force was fighting back with everything they had, but the problem was that we were almost out of ammunition. At that moment, the Devourers below were only 45 meters away from the upper level of the lighthouse. My defense captain, Lucas, asked me to pull him from his post, but I ignored him. He turned and walked straight into the kitchen, grabbed the cleaver, and hacked hard into his own arm, thinking that would get him reassigned. But I simply ordered him fitted with a prosthetic and sent back into the fight. That broke him completely. He pulled the weapon from his waist and shot himself. After that, I told the remaining soldiers that the only thing we could do now was concentrate all our firepower and make one final stand. By then, the Devourers below the lighthouse had already reached the last barricade zone. One of them leaped high into the air, shot out its grotesquely long tongue, and wrapped it precisely around the structure at the base of the lighthouse. Just as the horde was about to climb over the top of the barrier line, I gave the order to activate the power grid. In an instant, a massive surge of electricity ripped through them and burned every Devourer climbing up into blackened ash. But the grid consumed too much energy, and the lighthouse's power system couldn't support another activation anytime soon. Facing that overwhelming number of monsters, the metal defense net protecting us was already on the verge of collapse. As soon as it became clear the barrier wouldn't hold, we quickly secured a large amount of explosives to the net with precision. Then that entire section of the metal barrier was cut loose and removed, dropping the explosives directly into the densest part of the swarm. Even so, the attack still wasn't completely stopped. A massive claw suddenly burst through and tore straight through the defensive net. As more and more Devourers poured in, we were pushed to the brink. We had to find a real way to break them. After analyzing the situation, I realized the only option was to destroy the central support point of the beast's stack formation, so I immediately put together a plan. First, we would focus all firepower on the twin-jawed beast's limb joints to weaken the stability of the entire mass. Second, we would precisely blow apart its spine and destroy its support function completely. If we succeeded, the whole swarm would collapse. But at the moment of the critical strike, the missile failed to detonate. Right then, one of the mechs broke formation. It turned out one of my soldiers had decided to sacrifice himself to trigger the missile manually. With a thunderous explosion, the swarm collapsed into chaos for a moment, but the blast still didn't achieve the result we needed. I immediately ordered the remaining forces to regroup and set up a new defensive line, but by then our ammunition was nearly gone, and there was almost no chance we could survive the next wave.